Okay, welcome to video number 1 for Unit 3. Unit 3 is about ratios and proportions. The whole unit is called Proportional Relationships and Reasoning. So our first video is going to be about making comparisons. Here's a problem that we need to think about. It's going to kind of preview some things that we're going to do this week. It says at camp, Miriam uses a pottery wheel to make 3 bowls in 2 hours. Dwayne makes 5 bowls in 3 hours. Who is the faster potter? To help us to compare Miriam and Dwayne's speeds at making bowls, we can make what's called a part-to-part comparison. We're going to compare between the two people how many bowls they make and how many hours. So this is why it's called a part-to-part comparison. So these two numbers here, the 3 and the 2, both of those are parts. Specifically, these parts represent, the numerator is the amount of bowls that they make, and the denominator represents the hours it takes them to make that amount. So again, we're going to compare by using a part-to-part comparison. So let's figure out who's faster. If we do 3 to 2, or 3 divided by 2, we're going to get 1.5. We're going to talk about what that 1.5 means and how we can actually use a vocabulary term for that. But for right now, let's just remember that that 1.5 means that Miriam makes 1.5 bowls per hour. If we divide 5 divided by 3 for Dwayne, we're going to get 1 2/3, or we can write it as a decimal, which is 1.6 repeating bowls per hour. Now, does it make sense that they would only make a half a bowl or 0.6 of a bowl? But in order to compare these two with their speeds, we've got to find the bowls per hour. So this shows us that Dwayne is the faster potter. Okay, another problem that you're going to see in your book this week. It says in a taste test, people who preferred Bolda Cola outnumbered those who preferred Cola Nola by a ratio of 3 to 2. There are 3 ways to write this ratio. Notice the ratio is in red. That's a vocab term. We might see the word 2, 3, 2, 2. We might see a colon relating the two numbers. Or as we saw in the previous slide, we may use a fraction bar, or 3 divided by 2. These are all part-to-part comparisons. We've seen 2 slides that relate part-to-part comparisons. We also need to talk about part-to-whole comparisons. So here's a picture version of what you just saw. 3 people prefer Bolda Cola to 2 people who prefer Cola Nola. So the part-to-part comparison that we just made was 3 to 2. That just means 3 people to 2 people. So again, this is our part-to-part. We also need to talk about part-to-whole comparisons. So when I say part-to-whole comparisons, here's 2 examples of that. If I wanted to relate the amount of people that prefer Bolda Cola to all the people that participated in my survey, that would be a part-to-whole comparison. So that would mean 3 for Bolda to 5, all the total people that participated in the survey. So 3 to 5 is an example of a part-to-whole comparison. Same thing if I wanted a part-to-whole comparison for the Nola Cola. So if I was going to compare those, my ratio would be 2 to 5. This is another part-to-whole comparison.